Hi, I'm Amanda with Suntop USA, where we pride ourselves on providing you with the ultimate soft top for your Jeeping adventures. Chic Chat is a place where we celebrate the perfect fusion of style and adventure. Jeeps have long been synonymous with ruggedness, freedom, and the spirit of adventure, and who says women can't embrace all that and more?
That's right. I'm Janet with Precision Graphics and Marketing, where you can brand your legacy. And I'm from the B team, joining the A team today, helping Amanda out just to kind of fill in. And so we're recording on an off week, so you get to see the best of both worlds all in one episode. I love it.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
bringing me back to my Chic Chat roots, my first episode where
Yes.
I got to join you and Natalie.
Yeah, absolutely. Natalie is on her way back from what is it called? The Midwest Expo. I don't know. I forget the actual official name of it, but she's super busy. She was tied up this weekend. I even tried to text her a couple times and she wasn't answering me. So I know she was super busy, but you've been busy. Was it last weekend?
Yes.
You had an outing. So I want to hear all about it because I was supposed to go there, but my Jeep wasn't ready yet from being repaired. So I want to hear all about it.
I know we missed you. That would have been an epic,
It would have been fun. Yeah.
with a mixture of A and B team out there. So yeah, last weekend was the Apex Adventure Series stop number 1 at Wolf Caves, and we had a amazing time. It was an epic day of wheeling. It went from like frigid, cold, miserable weather to like 70s and sunny on the day of the event.
Are you serious?
And then the next day went back to like frigid, cold.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Bad weather. So it was like the sun was literally shining on our event, and we had a great time, a great group of people.
Good.
Mike and I were able to put together some super fun trails. We had Reggie, Obsessed Jeep Girl, out there as a co-host too, and her husband Ryan and friend Chris as spotters. And it just, we had a lot of time, and we think all of our participants really loved it. And so definitely keep an eye out for some of the content and the video that's going to be coming out, because we filmed a lot. The Apex media team was out there filming a lot, just to really capture everybody living their best life on the trail. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen some snippets like from your Instagram, Micah's Obsessed Jeep Girl. Like I follow everybody that was out there, and I had major FOMO. I was like, oh. And of course, Charlie came home this weekend, just 1 week later, but I know, but I'm sad I missed it, but hopefully, I've been waiting forever. For those that have been listening to the show for a while, I've been waiting to go out wheeling with Amanda since we became friends, and so it's just has not worked out, but it's going to work out. I mean, we'll be in Moab together.
Absolutely.
So if we have to wait for that, then we can wait for it.
Well, hopefully we can fix it, or do some wheeling before then. But I did break my Jeep, so now yours is fixed and mine is broken. So
yes. Yes, I'm in a major need of a shakedown run, and so now that mine is fixed, because mine has been out since like the first week of December. Now yours is broken, but it doesn't sound like yours would take too much to fix.
No,
right?
no, mine's not bad. Actually, so when we were wheeling, of course, Chrissy was on and talking about the Apex Adventure Series. So we had actually stopped. Chrissy was behind me in line on one of the trails. We went up our first obstacle, and it was a great line, and we were spotting everybody up and whatnot. And so Mike and me and Chrissy went down and like pulled around to the side to park to help, make room for everybody. And she actually started overheating. So we stopped and like popped the hood on hers and was dealing with that. And then Mike was like, something's leaking on your Jeep. Pull off the trail real quick, because we thought it was power steering fluid. And so we thought I'd blown a line on my pump. And I was like, no, because I've dealt with some issues there, because we tapped my own box, like my steering box, and did all of this stuff ourselves. We didn't order, like we YouTubed it and figured it out. And anyway, and it's been great. Knock on wood. But we thought that right there, first obstacle, like, oh no. But we got down, and I got off the trail really quick, because if I lost steering, I wanted to be able to just park and hop in and us wheel, because we were leading the trails, and we didn't want to hold anybody up or hold the event up. But I realized that what had happened was the mount that was holding my hose on my my shock reservoir hose had
Mhm.
popped loose. And so when I
Okay.
articulated going up that that obstacle, my anti-rock clipped that hose and pulled it down and ripped it out of the
Oh,
reservoir. So I
no.
lost my front passenger shock on the first obstacle of the day. So we went the rest
Oh,
of the day with no
goodness.
front shock. So that was fun. But hey, I mean, it wheeled the rest. I was just glad I still got to wheel. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. It could have been like some major damage where you had to just stop and put on the trailer and then jump passenger in somebody's Jeep. So luckily it was just that. And I guess for new listeners and new wheelers that know, it's possible to, to wheel without a
It
truck.
is totally possible. Yeah, I mean, it's you just, you bounce a little bit more, but it just adds an extra, challenge and fun. It was fun for my passengers that had to run because I had different people jumping in with me throughout the day, like Chris, the owner of Apex, and Kat, his girlfriend, and everybody were jumping in and out. And so it was just extra fun for them riding every time I would drop off a ledge and it would just bounce and bounce and bounce. And it
It's
bounced
like
all the way home on the train.
those hoopties going down the road when they hit a bump, they just keep going.
Well, it's exactly
That's what
like that.
Amanda was like.
You'll probably see it in some of the videos when you see me dropping down off ledges as those get posted. You'll see my
Yeah.
little yo-yo front end.
Oh gosh. Well, but I'm glad you were able to stay on the trail, finish it out, because there's nothing worse. And I know this from personal experience that breaking, 10 minutes into the trail really sucks.
Yeah.
Driving all that way just to break, but I'm glad you were able to finish it out. So that's really good.
Yeah, me too. I was determined. I was like, hey, even if we pull this sucker off and just leave it here on the trail until tomorrow, we're going to finish the event and make sure that everybody has a good time. So,
Perfect.
yeah, I was
Perfect. Well,
blessed.
good. Good. I'm happy for you. I was sad that I missed it. For those that have been following the show, Charlie's been in the shop for quite some time. Not because it was a scheduled upgrade. I actually broke Charlie back in December. And so we had to wait to find time in between scheduled jobs to get her fixed. And she finally made it home on Friday. We are in the middle of breaking in her new gears, and we still have a couple more things to finish up before Moab, but she's home and we're about 225 miles into new gears. I tell you what, and I know, Amanda, you've broken in gears over and over again. Those 500 miles seem like they take forever, don't they?
Forever. Yeah. I've been there. And unfortunately on a crunch time before a wheeling trip.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we've been
staying
there
up on
several
the
times.
Yeah, yeah. So for people that don't know, when you get new gears, if you don't, so there's a process where they can come broken in already from the manufacturer. You pay an extra 80, $100 and they break them in already for you. And so you don't really have to do anything but change your gear fluid after 500 miles or so. But
Mhm.
we didn't opt for that this time around. And I will be paying. So we're going to talk about in here in a little bit, what you're paying for in upgrades, what's bougie and what's a budget. This would be something that I would definitely pay for in the future if I had to do it, because you do have to break in your gears. It's similar like when you get a new car, right? So
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be a Jeep. It can be any vehicle you get right off the lot that has less than 500 miles on the odometer. You need to break it in. It's the gears, it's the engine, it's everything that's going on. You can't just like balls to the wall as soon as you're getting off of the lot because you're going to regret it later. For gears, we went with Revolution gears. Those molecules and everything, the metal has to bind together. It has to form, and you don't want to weaken any part of it by going too hard on it or getting it too hot too quickly, because you can show up on a trail and then you'll end up, grenading your gears, and then you're going to be in a whole heck of a mess. So what they usually recommend is do some regular street driving, 15 to 20 minutes. You go vary your speed. So you go up to like maybe, 50 miles an hour, and then you drop it down to about 40 miles an hour, and then you go up. You piss off a lot of people on the road. The people that are behind you, they're like, what is this person doing? They think that you're drunk. You do that for about 125, 150 miles, and then you start to do some highway passes, but highway passes mean you don't go above 65 miles an hour. You get to about 65, again, drop it down to about 45, and you do that for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then you go home and let the gears cool off all the way, and you have to do that until 500 miles. It's a very painful process, but very, very worth it. So yeah, that's what we're in the middle of doing right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a rite of passage though, right? Like you do the gears, you do all the work, and then it's just kind of like owning the work. You know what I mean? It is painful,
Yeah.
especially if you're in a hurry to drive it, but it's kind of, the satisfaction of knowing that you're done when you hit that 500 miles and you change the fluid and you're like, yes, here's all
Yes.
of our labor of love finally coming to fruition.
Absolutely. And look, Natalie's listening. She's listening while she's hauling her Jeeps home from the expo. So yay. Thank you, Natalie.
Hi, Natalie. I hope you had an amazing time. I can't wait to hear about it and see some of your content. So that'll be great.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And you will see, like, when you go to change the diff fluid, if you do it like midway through the break-in process, you'll see like this glitter and shimmer of the metal shavings that have come off. And that's normal at this point in your gear experience. So it's very interesting to see how that cleans up. And then when you go to the 500 miles and you go to change it again, it should be pretty near clear, not clear, but just the gear fluid. And that's when you know you're ready. You can go off-roading, you can go do what you need to do. But I heard somebody, so I went to a Jeep meet this weekend and they were talking about how, they just go flying 95 miles an hour down the road, 90 miles an hour. And I'm like, your gears hate you. Your gears hate you. Stop doing that.
Yeah, I can. Gears are too big of a pain in the butt to do.
Yes.
I need them to last. I don't want to do that again.
Yes, they're expensive. They're a pain to do. They're a pain to break in. If you take care of them and change your diff fluid every so often, like you're supposed to, it works out. But yeah, you won't catch me and Charlie going down the highway more than 70 miles an hour. I'll be the last one there.
Oh,
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my Jeep tops out at 70. People get so mad at me. They're like, why? And I'm like, no, it just doesn't. If it needs to go faster than that, it needs to be on the trailer behind the truck because under its own power.
Yeah.
Nope, not happening.
This is the second round of break-in I've had to do on Charlie within a year and a half. Yeah, I'm taking care of her. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So, yeah.
What gear ratio do you run?
What's that?
What gear ratio do you run?
Oh, I'm still running the 488s because at that point back in December there was nothing wrong with the gears when I broke Charlie, but they were the old Yukon gears. And so I went ahead and switched to Revolution and I just took this moment to do it. So we stayed with the 488s, but when I broke her in December, I had no idea I was going to be graduating to a truck and then a trailer to haul her. So if I'd known that, I would have gone up to 513s, but we're still at 48s and she'll be fine.
Oh, girl. I'm on 40s with 488s too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it'll be fine.
And it works with my wheel and tire setup. It works perfectly fine. So
yeah, it does. It does. And so a lot of stuff has transpired in the past few months as far as my Jeeping journey to get to where we need to go. So yeah, but I ordered those a long time ago. They've been sitting on the shelf. But speaking of upgrades, one of the topics that we wanted to talk about tonight was bougie versus budget upgrades and what you should be spending money on and what you can save money on. So what do you have, Amanda? What are your opinions on this?
Oh boy, I have all the opinions. So, but before we jump into that, I will just say, I hope all of our listeners can appreciate my sweet, precious puppy, Callie here, snoring very loudly in the background. Oh. So that is not me. That is Callie enjoying her nap behind me in this chair.
Being just a perfect little angel back there, not causing any trouble.
Oh boy, look, I talked
Uh-oh.
about her now. She's moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's being a good girl right now. But that may be short lived. She'll probably jump down and like take out my whole setup during the middle
Oh,
of the
that's
show.
okay. We
So
look forward. It creates more streams and more viewers.
oh me. So yeah, budget versus bougie. I love this topic. Girl, my build is a budget build. So I don't really have much experience with the bougie. It's a Frankenstein budget build. Not that I don't have some nice things on there, but I'm a woman wheeler on a budget. So
Mhm.
um, I definitely have learned how to make the most out of my money. I haven't. I think that's where mine lacks some like bougie fancy parts. Like, I don't have a fancy sound system up until I won some Nacho off-road lights on a giveaway. I didn't have
Yeah.
any. My lights literally came from the clearance rack at Tractor Supply. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I spent all my stuff in like suspension and drivetrain.
And you know what? I think honestly, like that's the most important piece of it, right? Because as we talked about gears and we talked about that stuff, like you don't even, so you can buy them used, you can buy them on sale. If somebody, only put a few thousand miles on them, there's nothing wrong with it. But the most important part of your Jeep is that,
Mm-hmm.
investing the money in that. But what I think a lot of new wheelers seem to think of, like, they see these big Jeeps, like yours and mine, or, whatever. They go to a Jeep meet and they see these, they're on 40s and you got this and you've got that. But they don't realize is a lot of that stuff we came from, my tires were used when I bought them.
Mm-hmm.
Some other stuff that I bought was used when I bought it. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to get stuff.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Yes. My front long arm kit I bought from my friend Tracy. Shout out to Tracy
Mhm.
on this one. She had listed it on Facebook Marketplace. She had bought it at like one of the open box sales, like the 4 Wheel Parts open box sales,
Mhm.
and it was a front long arm kit that had been the whole long arm kit that I guess part of it was returned. I don't know. Open box, a FabTech long arm kit, which is fantastic and cost thousands of dollars new.
Right.
I
Yeah.
bought that from her for $50.
That's even better. Girl, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, and I love it. I abuse the shit out of that kit.
Mhm.
It works fantastic. I
Right.
honestly wanna spend the money to buy the rear that matches it, but, we'll see what happens when I get
It
ready I
offsets
need long arms
itself,
on the
right? With
rear, but
the money
yeah.
that you saved versus what it costs. You're like, but I'm still saving money. That's girl math.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jeep girl math at that.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how Micah and I met. I bought parts from him off of Facebook Marketplace years ago,
Oh,
and we just became
see?
friends, so yeah. It
There
was
you
the
go.
shocks that I actually just ripped apart at the
Oh,
Apex
there you
event.
go. And they lasted this long. See?
Mhm.
That's perfect. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
so I'm
Yeah.
all about the budget shopping and I mean, if trust me, if I had an endless amount of money to throw at it, I would yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like if I had endless
Well, I
dollars
mean,
to
I think
throw at the Jeep,
our
but
Jeeps would look like the Rattler, honestly.
probably.
We would be having a cage put in. We would be having
Uh-huh.
all kinds of stuff, a whole engine swap at AMW. Yes, that it would be that. But unfortunately, we are balling on a budget. And so we
Mhm.
have to do that. Fortunately for me, like, Mark, who owns the Rattler, is like, well, hey, I'm getting rid of this. Do you want it? I'll give it to you for a great price. I'm like, cool, bring it on. I'll take that, you
Mhm.
know? So yeah. Yeah. I think the most that I've spent so far on that I think was really Rattler sounds like a Batman villain's name. It really does. What's the Texas Rattler? We have a whole show dedicated to why he called it the Texas Rattler. Yeah. But I think
That's
what
good.
I invested in that I feel because it's brand new is going to help me the most on the trails. And I think for more peace of mind, because I'm getting into more crazy obstacles, is the RCVs in the front. I really think
Girl,
that
yeah.
that's gonna, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
that's gonna
Yeah.
help
I mean,
me.
I consider that bougie. It was a bougie gift
Yeah.
that Micah gave Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes.
we both run RCVs in the front, and coming from somebody that has broken a U joint on the trail and had to repair it on the trail, it's not fun. It's doable, especially if you're running U joint, on the front, and you know that it's your weak spot and you carry this stuff. It's totally doable to change it, but I would rather not.
Oh, right. You just want to get on the trail, have fun, and come home. Like that's the goal. Nobody wants to change anything. So it was after you broke your U joint, and I
Mhm.
saw that you got your RCVs. I was like, I think I need to get some of those.
Mhm. Yeah, I was actually on the phone with you while we were in the garage installing
Yes.
them. So,
Yes. I was like, what
yeah.
are you doing right now? You're like, oh, I'm just installing RCVs in the front. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're the one that actually gave me that idea. And I was like, yeah, I think that's gonna be a good thing for me. If they still made RCVs for the JKs for the rear, I would have invested in those as well, especially after what happened. But I'm still running Chromoles, so we're gonna cross our fingers and hope this doesn't happen again. Yeah.
It'll be fine. Everything is
It'll
fine.
be- Yes, it'll be everything's fine. Everything's always fine.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna have the trailer now, or the truck and trailer, and so I mean that just gives you the peace of mind. I guess
It
that's the
really does.
bougie. I feel like when we stepped up to trailering, I was
Mhm.
like, yes, the relief,
Yes.
the
Yes.
relief knowing that you get to, y- you're gonna make it home. So
Yeah, I think with me
I don't know if
buying.
you could.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, finish your story.
Okay, yeah, I think with buying the truck, which I was kind of forced into it. My Altima had given out. She needed $8,000 in repairs, and it was a '96 Altima, was not worth $8,000. It just so happened with the luck of timing, I was able to get the truck that I have now, and moving into that aspect of now I get to, trailer her. And you're right, especially after she broke in December and having to rely on somebody else to trailer her back home from Arkansas to the Dallas Fort Worth area, knowing that I don't ever have to make that phone call again. I can just load her up and be done with it. It is a huge peace of mind.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. I love it. I would, it definitely takes you to another level of wheeling, I think, because you have that peace of mind. But
Mhm.
um, so if you could pick a bougie upgrade or something bougie to do to your Jeep, what would it be?
It would definitely be the Falcon coilovers, the new ones that just came out for the JK. I would definitely do that. Now, is it because I really need them? No, I don't need them. Do I want them? Yes, I want them. But my bank account has told me that I don't either need them or want them. They need to stay at the Terraflex warehouse until further notice. But that would be what I would want. I was this close to getting them. Honestly, when I heard that they were coming out, I was already saving money and putting it away. But that was the impulsive side of me after I thought about it and rationally, and then this whole like Ultima broke, and then doing all this. I'm like, I really don't need them. It would be a
Mhm.
nice to have, but I really don't need them. I'm not having trouble with travel currently. I think the only reason I may have wished I got them was when I do to go to Moab, and I heard a lot of those trails are washed out or not, or like the washboard, and it makes it a lot smoother. But I think I'll be okay. I'll save myself, 10 grand to not do it.
I know. With mine broken, I'm trying to decide, like, do I, do something, an upgrade, which I would love to be in bougie upgrade. I would love for it to be a coilover upgrade, or
Mhm.
do I go in more budget conscious? We'll just have to see, you know, what happens with
Right.
the timeline we have, and, the
Yeah.
budget we have going forward. But definitely, and I knew after Trail Hero and wheeling there, I wanted to make some changes to my suspension and stiffen it up a little bit more. So I guess this just kind of forced my hand into making some changes. So we'll see which direction it goes.
Right. And I think EJS is definitely on the mind of what do we have time to do, and then what do you have money to do, because EJS is not cheap. And trying to fit something in this short little timeline that we have, because EJS starts, gosh, what is the date? I think it's like April 12th or something like that. April 13th is when everybody's going to kind of start getting into town and setting up and start doing some trails. I mean, we don't have that much. And in the build world of adding things to your Jeep, that this is not a whole lot of time. Yeah. And y'all are lucky that you have, your own personal lift, and you're available to do that, and you can just kind of run out there and do what you need to do. So that helps. But even then, that's a tight timeline.
Yeah, it's especially working full time and doing stuff like that, because our shop is actually not, it's at his family's property. So it's not where we live. It's like 45 minutes away. So it would be much more convenient if we could just go outside after dinner and work. But no, that's why we were putting in the RCVs in my garage here instead on the lift, because we didn't want to drive all the way out there to do it.
Yeah, so, 45 minutes is a drive for sure. Yeah.
But,
So what do you say for your Jeep, what has been the most budget friendly, and maybe not so important for the trail, but like you're happy you didn't spend that much money on it, but it made it more convenient when you're out wheeling or doing something on your Jeep? Like maybe something fun, or like,
I mean, I guess
flashy.
I mean, definitely my favorite budget purchase is those long arms, because that just changes the way your Jeep rides. Man, it's nice. I got another Facebook Marketplace find, the Rock Jock Anti-Rock sway bar. I love that. And those suits can be expensive. I got it for a killer price, also for Micah, part of how we met. So those have been super, great upgrades. I'm trying to think what else budget stuff. I mean, everything is everything on mine is budget. So my axles came off of Facebook Marketplace. Friend named Rare.
Really?
Yeah. So mine is a Sahara, but I don't run Sahara axles. I bought axles off of Facebook Marketplace. First the front, because it already had a 44 in the rear, and then built that, and it was able to just sit while we added components to it, and trust and all the things to it, and got it ready to like slap on the Jeep. So mine is when I think the Frankenstein build, it really is.
Yeah, I think people underestimate what you can find on Facebook Marketplace for a great deal. You have people that are desperate to get rid of stuff. Maybe like you said, like those axles are just sitting in somebody's garage and like, I'm so sick of it, just get rid of it. And they will drop the price on those. So if you are an avid Facebook Marketplace person, staying on there daily, maybe even a couple times a day, something pops up, you got to grab it. You got to grab it. So like, especially like I've been looking, not that I have the budget for it, but I would love to get some half doors that I can paint match to Charlie. And I'll see some that are in like Wisconsin. And I'm like, well, the drive up there totally negates the money I'm saving on it, so never mind that. But you never know what you're going to find, ever.
Yeah. Girl, I love Facebook Marketplace.
I know. It's addicting. Yeah. Yeah. I think the most budget friendly thing that I did, and it has no function at all. Well, I mean, it does if you're night wheeling, but it was more for my daughter. She, ever since we started going to Jeep meets, like way back in the day, before Charlie was even built up, she would become enamored with people that had like the halo lights that change colors, or, things like that. And I was just like, I just didn't want those headlights. I had no need for them. So we finally I found some really cheap rock lights to put underneath the Jeep that have the Bluetooth capability, and you get the app on your phone. And so now you can change it to whatever color you want. And, like we do pink and white for Valentine's Day, or green and red for Christmas. And it has, on my switch kit, it's the very last switch on the passenger side. So we call it her party switch. So I'm like, throw on the party switch, let's go. And so she'll hit it and the lights come on. And so that's our fun thing. Yes, we can use it for night wheeling, but for the most part, when we go to Jeep meets, I'm like, turn on the party switch, let's go.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Lights are fun.
Yeah.
Lights are really fun. Mine don't change colors. So mine are like, I have white ones that are pointed like strategically for night wheeling because I love night wheeling. It's
Right.
one of my faves. But then, so blue's my favorite color. And so we bought some like budget friendly, like emergency lights, like you put on an ambulance or a police car.
Oh, okay.
And they're mounted all underneath and they can strobe and flash and do all this stuff. And they're just really pretty color blue. So I either have white or blue or both.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I'll also say, and this will help us segue into the next topic, but one of the things that I also invested in was a soft top for Charlie. I being by myself, so I'm single, I don't have another adult in the house to help me take off this hard top that weighs, it's not so much that it weighs a lot because it really doesn't. It's just awkward. You know, you have the big windows in the back and then get skinny in the front, taking it off, you know, storing it, putting it back on. It usually takes more than one person to do. So I would end up having to call people over. Investing in that soft top was the best thing that I've done. I run it 100% of the time and I've sold my hard top. But I want to hear your opinion on soft top versus hard top.
Oh, girl. Me too. I think you just told my soft top story. So I bought a soft top years ago off of Marketplace for the exact same reason. I have a bad back. And so lifting the hard top, it was color matched. It looked beautiful, all the things, right? But I have a bad back and lifting that thing was just not for me. And then you have to store it and no. And I guess I grew up like when my aunt had this YJ that I absolutely was obsessed with. And it had a soft top and, you know, in the half door. So I get the half door thing. And so like, I'm just a soft top girly. So I bought this soft top off of Facebook Marketplace. It was another brand than what I run now, but it broke. And anyway, but I'm a soft top girl because it's just so much easier.
It really is.
On mine, because I run the sun top. I have a cargo top, so which is why mine looks a little different than, you know, and people ask me about it all the time because it's kind of the truck bed and I store my spare tire up there on the rack and it's unique looking. But like, if you want to be open air, you jump out, you roll it up. And then you're open air. It starts raining, the weather gets bad, you roll it back down. And then you're dry. It's just so much easier. Yeah. And I like the weight reduction on top too when I'm wheeling, just not having something heavy up high. So what are your feelings? Do you wish you still did the hard top or do you love your soft top?
Absolutely not. I'm so glad that I sold the hard top. And what was great is I sold the hard top on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was on Facebook Marketplace for no kidding, maybe 5 minutes before somebody snatched it up. It was a guy that was getting ready to go wheeling and he had installed a cage, but something happened to his hard top that he couldn't fit it over the cage. So he wanted to buy mine and he installed it here, like drilling holes and making modifications here in my driveway after he bought it. So it was on Facebook Marketplace for next to no time at all. But there is not one day that goes by that I do not miss that hard top at all. I'm so glad I got rid of it.
Same. I sold mine on Facebook Marketplace and it's just, I was paying for a storage unit to house it because I didn't have room in my garage because I'd already gone to a soft top. And I was like, I'm not going back. And I like the looks of them too. And it's just the convenience of it is so much. But I mean, because to me, it embodies like part of the appeal of the Jeep, which is the open air, like, you know, going doorless or whatever. If you're wheeling, being able to see and enjoy the outdoors, it makes it so much easier.
It
But then I'm
does.
also one of those folks that doesn't like to get stuck on the trail, that they've taken their hard top off and now it's raining or something's happening. And no, I'm not that girl. I have some friends that do it, and I'm like, I envy their ability to just be tough and be out there in the pouring rain and the cold and their tops off and they're wheeling and they're badasses. And I'm like, no, I cannot.
Well, I like when the weather's perfect.
Mhm.
I'm a perfect weather girly. I don't want it to rain. It can't be too cold. It can't be too hot. I just want it to be perfect. And I think with the soft top, that makes it so much easier. And a lot of people will say, well, doesn't it get super hot in the summer or doesn't it get super cold in the winter? It absolutely doesn't. So
Mm-mm.
I had Charlie home on Friday when it was still freezing weather outside, and it's nice and warm. I turn the heater on and I don't feel cold. In the summer, it's not super hot. It's great. And mine doesn't flap. So I don't know. I always hear people on like these Facebook groups saying that, well, it's so much noise and they're so loud. Mine's not loud. Mine doesn't flap. Mine stays put. I don't understand what that means. Like when they say,
And I think like back in the day, the quality of the soft tops now is just so much different. Like the material that they make them out of is so much higher quality and thicker. And so I mean, I guess mine's probably a little bit louder than what my hard top was. It's hard for me to judge because I run a high clearance exhaust on mine, and it dumps like right behind the driver's seat. And so my Jeep is loud. It
yeah,
is loud with the hard top on. It is loud with the soft top on. It is loud with no top on. It is just loud. So
yes,
to me, I'm not in there, I can't do a conference call while I'm driving down the road in my Jeep. It's not going to happen. But
right.
the quality of them is just way different. I think when I think back to, like my aunt's Jeep or Jeeps from when I was a kid, it's just different. It's a higher quality material. And
Right.
like the sun top that I run, there's no like um wires or bows or anything. It's a good simple design, so it's easy to use and it just works.
Right. So that was going to be my next question to you. Why do you prefer the Sun Top over some of the other brands that are out there? Why you are endorsing them now? Why you have that on your particular Jeep? Like what makes it stand out?
um well, first off, we're going to show my vanity side here. It looks cool. um
And there's nothing wrong with that.
it looks really badass. I think it's different. It was different. It caught my eye because I had not seen anything like it, because mine is the cargo top style. So
Hmm.
it like makes it like a truck bed, right? And then I have a rack there. And on that
Hmm.
rack, you can do like my fire extinguishers mounted there. I've had gas cans mounted there when I was in Moab on like super long trails. My spare tires mounted there. Now, did I go over the weight uh, recommendation for it? Yes, I did.
Of
Would they
course.
warranty if I broke it? No, probably not. But I've been running it there for years and it's fine. It's
It'll
just
be
if you're
okay.
willing to take the risk. But it looks cool. And I did that because I wanted my spare tire mounted up off of the tailgate, but I'm also too chicken to go without a spare tire as well.
Yeah.
And that's back before I was trailering and I was driving across the country. And I'm like, I'm not going to get out here on some road in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico, and not have a spare tire. Not
Right.
this girl. No.
Yeah.
So it just gave me that flexibility and it looks cool. Right. But what I like about them is it's a modular design. So you can run it like you have the classic bikini top, right? So you're thinking about the bikini top that just goes over the top and you have
Hmm.
straps in the back. So with a cargo top, it has the windows that go down like a truck bed. You can buy from them a kit that is both the cargo top and the slant back, or you can buy just one or the other. But if I decided I wanted to switch to the slant back today, all I have to do is buy the slant back windows. Boop, throw it on,
Oh,
change your windows. So you
I
could go
love
back
that.
and forth from the cargo top to the slant back just
Hmm.
every day if you wanted to, and change the
Oh, I like
total look
that.
and setup. So it's cool. And like I said, it's a simple design. There's not like a lot of parts to break or for there to be an issue. And it's easy to use.
Right.
So
Yeah. I know like the first time that I installed the soft top on mine, it was, you have to let it sit out in the sun. You have to let it stretch, and then you're like fighting with it to get it on and all that stuff. How does Suntop compare to other brands that are out there as far as budget wise for running soft tops on Jeeps?
I mean, I think they're really affordable. It just,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, because you can do the modular design. So if you want to just buy, the slant back today, you can do that. And then you can, when you want to buy the cargo top, or you buy the rack, or you buy the parts, but you're looking at, I would say, about $1,000 for one of the tops.
Okay.
And then, but you have that
That's not
bikini that you're always running, right? So that's the foundation of it, the actual bikini top. And so you, like I said, you can interchange your windows, you can take them off, you can do whatever. But it's the same way. Like when you set it up, you got to set it in the sun and get it warm, and then it has to stretch. And then once it stretches, you get out there and you like adjust your little, brackets. And to be quite frank, I probably need to adjust mine because it's been years, but I run it 24/7. I mean, it doesn't come off for years. And
How long have you had yours, the particular one that you're running?
Oh gosh, 2023, early in 2023.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's when I put it on.
Yeah. And that's really good because you hear.
And Micah has one on his now, and he was a diehard hardtop guy.
Yeah. Yeah. There are people that are like that. They're diehard hardtops or they're diehard soft tops. I think if you do have the help at home, or if you have one of those Top Lift Pros, or if you have, one of those winches in your garage that'll pull it up, more power to you. I just didn't have those options. And so running a soft top was much better. And I will be honest, before I went to the soft top, I was hesitant for so long because I did not like the look of the slant back. I just did not like, my early days, I was just like, ew, it just doesn't look good. And the more I started looking at it and the more that I was trying to take this hard top off, I was like, you know what? The slant top doesn't look that bad.
No. Girl, I love the slant back look. My first soft top was a slant back. I love the look of it. I just think soft tops to me just are Jeep. They go together. I just like it. It's right. I'm a soft girly.
Yeah. I will always and forever be that. If, God forbid I have to get another Jeep for whatever reason, it will immediately get a soft top if it doesn't have one already. So I think that's the number one way to go. I don't prefer the look of the ones that look like a hard top. So what's funny is I went from one extreme to the other. I went, oh, I don't like the slant backs and I will never do that, to now I have the soft top and I don't like the look of the ones that mimic a hard top, just because when you take off the windows, to me, it looks funny. If you have one of those, I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. It's not the opinion of the Jeep Talk Show. Like, let's not get crazy, but it's just Janet's personal opinion. And so and everybody has their own thing of what they want to do, but I love my soft top. I love that I'm able to get to the trail, take off the windows, leave the bikini top on, and just roll. And then when it's time to go home, just throw them back on and head on the road. It's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the cargo top that I run, I have that rack on the back, right? That kind of gives you the security, like to keep your stuff in your tailgate where it's not easy for somebody to get in there.
Right.
But the windows still fold down. So like you can roll your top up to be open air, and then you just unhook the windows and they fold right behind the seat. So you still got like the security of but you have the open air. It's so easy.
Yes. Yes. I think so I run a Smittybilt. I got one of the last few that they had in the area before. I think there were only like maybe 100 in the state of Texas. And so I grabbed one of the last ones. I think that is the only drawback, is that when I do get to the trail, you take the side windows off and the back panel, the back windshield, and you do have to go take them inside the cabin or trailer or wherever you're hanging out and leave them in there. So yes, you're right. If it starts raining on the trail, you're screwed. So I
I have a bag that holds those windows from my old top that's sitting in the garage. So next time I see you, I'm going to give you that bag because you can mount them on your back seat then, and it keeps them protected.
Perfect. Yes.
Glad we had this conversation.
Yes, because I don't want it. So I have to think about that. Like when we're about to get on the trailhead, I'm like, do I want to take these windows off? Is it supposed to rain today? What's going to happen? How dusty is it? Because what if I change my mind in the middle of the trail and I'm screwed? So perfect. Yes, I will happily take that from you.
But even still, so saying that, even still, you take off your windows, you leave them at the cabin, and it rains, you've still got the cover on top of you. You're not gonna get soaked.
Right. Right. And I love having that bikini top. So before, when I did have the hard top, I ran a sunshade, an alien shade on the Jeep, which for those that don't know that, it's kind of just like this canvasy screen that you put at the top of your Jeep that helps block out the direct rays of the sun, because here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the sun is hotter than you know what, and it will cook you while you're sitting in your Jeep. So I always ran those, but going to the soft top and just having the bikini top, it is even better because it blocks out everything, but you still get that open air feeling. You get the cool weather, you get the hot weather. Like, it's just, but that bikini top, never take it off, ever. I won't ever take it off.
Yeah. So because I do roll mine up sometimes, I still have like the alien shade. That's part of what's cool about the sun top, is you can still run those sunshades underneath. So even when you roll your top up, you can still have, the shade where you're not getting roasted like a chicken, but it's because I do. You still get to stay, you still get to stay in the shade somewhat, but have the open air stuff.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. So when this Smitty belt runs its life course, I will probably be looking into one of those, because that sounds like it's way more convenient than what I'm currently running, especially when you're going off-roading and in the summer. I like the way that sounds. That's perfect.
Yeah. It works well for my lifestyle, which is simple and easy.
Yeah.
And budget friendly. So
budget friendly. We talk about that. Like, we don't have too many bougie things, but I want to make Charlie look bougie. I wash her and shine her up, and she look bougie when she's clean.
I don't even do that. Micah gripes at me. He's like, "Wash your Jeep. It looks horrible." I'm like, "But it's a Jeep. It's a trail rig. It's a muddy. It looks, rugged. It's mud from the trails." I just vacuumed the sand out of it from Trail Hero of like October last year, like 2 weeks ago. I finally did that.
A little background for our listeners is Precision Graphics and Marketing did some branding decals for Amanda for Walker, Texas Wrangler. And when I went out there to deliver her decals, she did mention to me, she's like, "Oh, I wash it like once a year." Because I was telling her, like, clean it thoroughly. She's like, "Oh, yeah, I haven't washed it in forever."
I washed it before I put my decals on, though. I promise I did. I cleaned it.
Yeah.
But then when I sent you the pictures of my decals, I was like, "Damn it, Janet, I forgot to send you this while it was still clean." So there's mud on them. But you can see that they hold up to the elements. I feel like it's a true to life testament.
Yep. So yeah, if you look on Precision Graphics and Marketing on Instagram or Facebook, you can see Amanda's Jeep on the trail with her decals installed, and they do have mud all over them. But tell you what, if you install them correctly and you go through us to give you high quality products, they will stand the test of the trail. So I love it. I love it.
Yeah. They have a little pin strapping, but they're holding up just fine.
So yes, my Jeep has my business name on the side, and they do have those pinstripes where I've run through, but I've been on 3 trails already, 3 off-roading events with my graphics, and I don't have any peeling. I don't have any rubbing off. Like, they've done really great. And you'll take care of yours, and they'll do the same.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do the same. They'll take some abuse, but they just keep on going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they look great. And my QR code on the back looks great. It's so much cleaner and nice and neat, and looks like I'm a professional. Thanks to you. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes. I think, Mark got one of those on his Jeep for the Duck Regatta this past fall. And he was so happy with it because, he wants everybody to follow him on Instagram. So he's like, "Oh, just scan my QR code. Just scan my QR code." And so it works really well for him. It's just so much easier, and it's clean. It's a really good size, and it just works out perfectly.
Yeah, it did. Because at the thing that we did at Smoke Sessions the other day, actually, where you posted the picture where we were together, some people were asking me about my top, and I was telling them, and they were like, "Oh, well, where can we find it?" Well, obviously, I have Top linked, with my social media, and so I was like, "Scan the QR code and then go to my bio, and it's right there." And so they did right there, and it took them. They were able to save it, and
Perfect.
where they needed to go. So
Perfect. And the good news about that, and this is anybody that runs a QR code, if you lose, even if you lose a little bit of those squares, it still works. So
yeah, and see, I didn't know that until you told me. I thought if you lost one of those squares, that's it. It was done.
I
You're
know.
total.
So I did test it. So before we put any product on anybody's Jeep, we do test it. And what happens if this comes out? Because it is hard when you're washing your Jeep. You always want to be careful going over the decals, right? Because they can be sensitive sometimes.
Mhm.
And those QR codes are very tedious. They're tedious to make, they're tedious to weed, and they are tedious to transfer. So a lot of those little squares can sometimes get lost, but the QR code still works as long as I would say 80% of the squares are on there. I think you're good. Yeah.
Well, good to know.
Yeah.
I put it on the back so that way it would not get pinstriping or get, tree branches struck against it. So hopefully I can.
Right. Yeah. You and Mark
make
have it
that
in the
one
exact same spot on that tailgate. That tailgate spot, I think, is the perfect place to put it. That's a great place to put it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And it looks great. I love
Good.
it.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're able to enjoy it.
Well, I think since we've talked about all the bougie mods and the soft top versus hard top, I'm curious to see what some of our listeners say in the comments when, this goes live tomorrow and hits social media with their thoughts on soft top versus hard top, because I know people have strong opinions on that. So I can't
Yes, they
wait
do.
to read some comments and see. But I think that's it for me. Anything else we need to hit on this episode of Chick Chat, Janet?
No, do you have, well, I was going to ask you if you had any events coming up, but now that Walker is kind of in limp mode right now, you're going to be focused on getting him fixed and back on the trails and get ready for EJS.
Yeah, so I will be at Mopar Heaven with my Apex fam out there. So that'll be fun. I
Good.
will get him there one way or the other. And then, of course, EJS. But I hope to hit the trails between now and then. But, we'll just have to see. Anytime I
Yes.
do something fun, I try to post about it, So if anybody
Good.
wants to join me out on the trails, just keep an eye on that Instagram and you'll find me.
Good.
What about you?
Good.
Anything fun between now and then?
There is a fundraiser type car show for veterans that's coming in on March 8th in Terrell, Texas. And so
Awesome.
I will be taking Charlie out there to kind of just post up. It's a great fundraiser. This group puts on a lot of car shows. It's with the Outlaws group, Jeep group in Texas. And they attend a lot of these, and they have a lot of members that are veterans. And so they try to support that cause. I was just out with this group last night at Main Event in Plano. And it's just a great group of people. There's for people that get caught up in, Jeep clubs and all this stuff. For me, Outlaws has been the most stable and fun group that I've been a part of. They do a lot for the community. So I'll be out there on March the 8th. And then I'm hoping to get a shakedown run before EJS so we can take Charlie on the trail so I can get some experience under her wheels before we hit the rocks out in EJS in April. But nothing's been planned yet. Just kind of trying to get everything figured out. But once we do, I'll let you know, see if you can come along, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And shoot me some info on the event in Terrell, because if we can make it, I'd love to.
Oh,
Walker's
yes,
in
sure.
Terrell right now at the shop, so I could limp him across town with no shop.
He'll hit big old bumps. Yeah, I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, I love charity events and doing stuff like that and giving back to the community. That's one of my things. Oh, look, there goes Callie. She's like, I'm glad we're almost done.
Yes. Uh-oh. He's like, my nap's over. It's time to wreak some havoc.
And she does. She does it well.
She's so sweet. Look at her. Oh.
Yeah, she's a good
Natalie
girl.
and I have our cats, and then you have your sweet pups. I love it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Chick Chat. We hope you've been inspired by the stories, insights, and tips we've shared today. Remember, there are no limits to what you can achieve when you embrace your passion and fearlessly chase your dreams. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the Jeep Talk Show so you never miss an episode. Remember, embrace the thrill of the off-road, embody your own unique style, and always keep pushing the boundaries of what you thought's possible, because anything is possible.
That's right. Thank you, Amanda.
Yes, thank you, Janet, for joining me.
Of course.
Broadcasting since 2010.
You're my friend. You're my new friend.